I'm going to start a recording.
I hear you.
And we're going to do this. Yay! Okay, just bear with me while we do the technical things. This is why I don't work in IT anymore in my life, right? So, whoever has, you guys can mute yourselves. Yay! Okay. I'm so grateful for Ginger to join us tonight, and the idea is for both of our teams to be on this together so that we could bounce off of each other, but I guess they have a prior call at the same time, but that's okay because we're going to share recordings and share all of the love and the trainings and everything together. So I love this week. The last week of the month is always some incredible things that happen. So I have some things that I want to share, and then Ginger had some wisdom to share with you guys, and then we're going to wrap it up with some other stuff too. But one of the things that I want to remind you guys about is how absolutely magical the end of the month is. And I know I say that to you guys a lot, but doubly what awesomeness happens and what magical things always happen in March. And I know we've talked about this before, but what I want to share with you guys is this is the week. This week, the last week of every single month, is kind of what you can use as a gauge. Okay. This week shows you how badly you want your business to work. What you do right now in these last, 5, 6, 7 days of every month really is where push comes to shove. And this is the week where it shows how badly you want this. Right now, this week is what you're going to use as your gauge or your grit. Do you push or do you push it aside? And you're the only one that can really make that answer. But I want to encourage you to push, right? I want to share with you guys a little bit about how your success is directly tied to your consistency and your efforts. So how many of us, I'm going to put this on gallery view for a minute, how many of us have done the 30 Days to Healthy Living program? Okay. How many of us have coached a person through the Healthy Days to Healthy Living program? Right. Okay. So thinking about this, so we've got chat messages coming through. Yes. Okay. Yes to both. Absolutely. All right. What do you tell a client who's on day 2 when they feel really tired, they have headaches, and they're really crabby?
You'll get through it.
Yeah. I mean, you just basically say, stick it out. It's going to get better. The beginning is always the hardest, and it's going to hurt for the first little bit, but it always gets better. So what would you say to a client when they fall off the wagon? This just happened to me with a client. Fell off the wagon this weekend. I ate some Girl Scout cookies. I had Chinese food. I'm so angry at myself. I suck at this. What would you say? You would probably say something like, it's okay. That was just one thing. It was one day. Just get right back into it, and you're going to be on the right track. Right? And when you do the program yourself, you know that you don't have the results if you're not 100% committed to it. I'm doing it myself, and I have done the same thing. I went off a little bit. I had a piece of toast with my eggs because I really wanted toast. And then the next day I was like, damn it, why did I do that to myself? But when you're consistent in that program, and when we are honest with the people that we're coaching through it, they're going to see that their consistency in the program is where they're going to have the best results and them in doing that clean eating challenge. So now shift gears and think about how this relates to ourselves in our business. Okay. What do you say to yourself or to a new person on your team after the third person tells you no in a row and it's your very best friend? What do you say when it's your own family member who completely ignores your text message to please listen to a 20-minute overview of the business? Do you say to that new person on your team, or specifically, what is the talk that you're saying to yourself? Are you saying, well, I completely suck at this business. The first 3 people I reached out to said no. I'm not meant for this. It's just, there's no way that this is for me. You must have something magical because it doesn't work for me. No, it's the same thing as what you would coach your client through the clean eating. Oh my gosh, you only got through 3 days. The next 4 days are where you're going to see a change. So relate to your business. The next 5 phone calls or the next 5 messages are where you're going to have that breakthrough. You can't stop after the first 3 and you feel really bad and miserable about your experience. Okay. What do you say to yourself, or what do you say to a new person on your team when a party cancels? What do you tell yourself when that last client order that you really needed to hit a goal completely fell through? And be honest, what are you saying to yourself in your mind? Do you say, well, crap, I wasn't meant for this? No. What you need to be saying to yourself is, it's okay. I fell off the wagon, but I'm going to get right back on and make one more reach out, one more goal, one more, text message, whatever it is, you just keep going on. So if you think about you coaching someone through the 30 days and you coaching yourself, because you have to be your best coach to yourself. You have to coach yourself every single day to make a step and to take the action and to not listen to that voice in your head. You just have to go. So your results in this business are 100% directly correlated to your efforts and your consistency. You can't work, the first 3 days of a month and then kind of get caught up in other things. And then in the last 5 days of the month, be panicked or overwhelmed with where you are in relation to your goal. Does that make sense to you guys? So what I wanted to remind you guys, and I totally didn't even realize this today is the anniversary of when Labonte Region became a region. It was 3 years ago today. And that was, I know half of you guys were part of the team and half of you were not. And we're mixing teams tonight, but this is fun. I completely forgot about that. But when that happened, those results that showed today, 3 years ago, were from the efforts of all of us working for the past months consistently. And in the last, 2 months, it was the push, and everybody had the same focus and the vision. So it's the consistency, and the push that is what makes the quote unquote magic happen. I know we say it so many times all the time, but it's not the magic. It is just the steps and the action. So with that, I would love to pass it over to Ginger. She wanted to share a little bit. Well, I asked her really to share a little bit about what happens month end and how just what things she's experienced, because she's been in this business almost twice as long as I, not quite. Over to you, my friend.
Take it away, Ginger. Hi, guys. I am so excited to be here. I don't know if I've met every one of you, but I'm also a regional vice president, and I'm up in Alaska, and we've got this amazing sun we haven't seen for a long time, like 6 months, and it's just beating in here, so I apologize if I'm squinting. I want to talk a little bit about, well, this month is my anniversary month of going area manager. Going area manager 12 years ago. Oh my God. And it really interesting to me, the interesting story is when I went district manager, I did it all by myself. Anybody in that category? Has anybody else gone to get district manager by yourself? Like, I was up here in Alaska and I did, yeah, you did. I was up here in Alaska and my coach, who wasn't really, Ashley did too. She was like 6 or 7 people above me. And she was my coach, and she was in Arkansas. And so I was really flying, blind here. Didn't really know. We didn't have all this stuff. And I didn't know I was supposed to ask people to take a look at this business. Are you guys asking people to take a look at this business? Because I didn't know. And so then I went on, and the next 3 months, I did 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 all by myself. Anybody do that before? Stacy, yay! It's a lot of work. It was so much fun. But then towards the end of it, my sponsor said to, or she called me. She wasn't really my coach at that point. She called me because she goes, "Oh my gosh, Ginger, this is Jill. I'm your national vice president. And holy cow, what are you doing up there in Alaska? And how many people have you sponsored to do the business?" And I said, "Am I supposed to ask people to do this business?" And she goes, "Yeah." And so I kind of got busy at the end of that month. The last week of that month, I sponsored my first business partner. And she, and it was really the last week. And so much changed for me, you guys. I got busy with that. And you probably have people on your list that you haven't talked to, but just imagine, raise your hand, you guys, if somebody joined your team right now, and they did at least 1,000, probably 2,500 this month. Would you be screaming with excitement? Anybody? Like, wouldn't that be amazing? Right. And the person I asked, I couldn't believe she actually joined me, because she was, I'm kind of a tomboy, crazy redhead. She was beautiful, tiny, petite, all these things. And I just said, "Well, why don't you do this with me?" And she said, "I've been looking for something." And so, I just really want to encourage you, in a split second, your business can go from blah to, oh my gosh, I'm on fire. And that happens many times in the end of the month when you're like, okay, my coach, my upline says I really should get busy. If you actually really listen to yourself and what you want, remember those goals you started with, and you listen to what your coach is saying, you could start April with a brand new business partner that's going to finish district in April because of Vegas and because of all the new products and everything that goes on in April. So much can happen if we treat each day of the month, and especially the last week of the month, as if it were the last day of the month. And you give it that fire and you get yourself fired up. Another thing that I just wanted to share was that one person catapulted us into, it was in December 1st of that year. So I'd been in the business 12 and a half months. December 1st of that year, I became a regional vice president. I had no idea what I was doing. And we promoted to regional vice president with at least 15 district managers on our team. 8 months prior, I had none. And I really had no idea what I was doing. Everybody on my team, everybody on, Heather's team, you guys all have the system. You know what you're supposed to do, and you know what you're doing. So you're a step ahead of me. And I think it's the same for everybody. All of a sudden you get, Diette will nod her head, I'm sure. You get somebody on your team that decides to really work, and it changes everything. And so I think March is the most amazing month to do that. Well, for us in Alaska, it's spring for the next 3 months, but it is true spring starting now. And April comes and we're just on fire. These are the best 2 months to promote to that next level. So it's not just about sponsoring a new consultant, but it's about pushing through and getting yourself to that next level. So I just really want to encourage you guys to do maybe something you've never done before in this do we have 6 days left? I think it's 6 days. 5. Oh, I was counting an extra day. Darn it. But maybe do something that you don't expect yourself to do. Make a list of 20 people that you haven't called and give them a call. Book a party. There's still time to get a few people together. Do it. If you've never has anybody here done a Facebook Live before? You guys have on your own? Okay. There's a lot of people on my team that haven't yet done one, and you kind of, how you have to push yourself to do that. Maybe help somebody that's on your team, or partner with a new person on this team and say, hey, let's do a Healthy Living Happy Hour Live before, and help them get over the fear of doing that, and see if you both can grow your business at the same time. This light is really bugging me. Anyway, so I guess my point is that we can fire ourselves up, or we can stay where we're at. And I can't stand staying where I'm at. So I hope you guys, my team, Heather's team, see this month as a big opportunity to start that momentum and build it through April and on through the summer. So that's really what I wanted to say. Heather, did I miss anything?
No, the only thing that I think was important for a lot of people to hear, especially those that have maybe not been in this a long time, or a reminder for those of us who have, is the incredible amount of volume that can come flooding in just a few days' time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So even if you're at 0 today, you could end your week with like 5,000. It is completely achievable. I don't want you guys to get scared of numbers or goals, because when push comes to shove, like I was saying in the beginning, it's just really a measure of how bad do you want to achieve whatever you want to achieve. Ginger and I have been in this for a while, her longer than me, but we have seen, and historically the last week of the month, you get 1/3 of your volume comes flooding in. So please hold the vision and the belief that what you can be ending Saturday night at whatever midnight, you can have thousands more volume than you have right now. You can go sponsor whatever, 2 fit kits a day, if not more. You could sponsor a consultant tonight or tomorrow that jumps in and gets 8 people to join with them, that does 2,500. That is so achievable. And I just really want you guys to believe that that's possible. Go.
Can I share another story? And this happened, couple things happened on my team recently. And I have been saying to this one person on my team for a while, I'm kind of mean. I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't want to hear that you're frustrated, because that just takes energy from you. All I want to hear is that you contacted a bunch of people today. And she's like, I know. And so she promised me for 90 days that is what she would do. And really not a whole lot has happened. All of a sudden, she's got 3 new consultants joining her team, because she really, this last couple of weeks, she's really just pushed in. And so now at the end of this month, she's so excited going into that. And it's just because she gave it that extra little effort, really in the last couple of weeks. And it's amazing what we can do if we set our minds to it. So I hope this was inspirational, and not just, I've had my struggles. Heather knows it, and I've had my end of the months where I'm like, I don't feel like doing everything I'm supposed to do, but I do it anyway. And I hope it's not just 2 regional vice presidents saying to you, you should do this, because what we want for you is the success that you want for yourself so much. Like, I want it so badly for you guys. And a lot of you on here are friends of mine. And I just cannot wait to see the momentum in your businesses because of what you did today. And it's late there, but I bet maybe you could get on the phone or text a few more people tonight and make some stuff happen. I'm going to.
Yeah, you guys have way more hours than we have. I love it. And thank you, Ginger, for getting message. Yes, Ginger and I just want to encourage you guys, and we're not the school teacher saying do this, do that. You all know, and you hear me say that all the time. You guys know what to do. We're just here to remind you of what is possible and what is there. I want to read something to you guys, and then if you guys want, we can open up for a quick Q&A. I didn't even talk about that with Ginger, but if we have a couple minutes, if you guys have questions, then great. But I need to put on my over 40 glasses so I can read this to you guys. School teacher is coming your way. So a lot of my team has been hearing a lot from this book from me lately. It's from the author that also has written the Greatest Salesman in the World, but it's really the deep next level stuff that comes from it. And I'm going to read from one of the scrolls. So it's going to be a couple minutes of reading here, and bear with me as I'm sitting in the darkest corner of my living room. I always do this to myself. I do this when I do parties too. I sit down at the close station and I'm like, why am I in the dark? So future reference, sit in a bright spot. Okay. It's only 2.5 pages. My dreams are worthless. My plans are dust. My goals are impossible. All are of no value unless they are followed by action. I will act now. Never has there been a map, however carefully executed to detail and scale, which carried its owner over even 1 inch of ground. Never has there been a parchment of law, however fair, which prevented one crime. Never has there been a scroll, even such as the one I hold, which earned so much as a penny or produced a single word of acclamation. Action alone is the tinder which ignites the map, the parchment, the scroll, my dreams, my plans, my goals into a living force. Action is the food and drink which will nourish any success. I will act now. My procrastination, which has held me back, was born of fear, and now I recognize the secret mind from the depths of all courageous hearts. Now I know that to conquer fear, I must always act without hesitation, and the flutters in my heart will vanish. Now I know that action reduces the lion of terror to an ant. I will act now. Therefore, I will remember the lesson of the firefly, who gives its light only when it is on the wing and only when it is in action. I will become a firefly, and even in the day my glow will be seen in the sprite of the sun. Let others be as butterflies who preen their wings, yet depend on the charity of a flower for life. I will be as the firefly, and my light will brighten the world. I will act now. I will not avoid the tasks of today and the charges then tomorrow, for I know that tomorrow never comes. Let me act now, even though my actions may not bring happiness or success, for it is better to act and fail than not act and flounder. Happiness and truth may not be the fruit plucked by my actions, yet without action, all fruit dies on the vine. I will act now. I will act now. I will act now. I will act now. I will repeat these words again and again and again and again, each hour, each day, every day, until the words become as much as a habit as my breathing, and the actions which follow become as instinctive as the blinking of my eyelids. With these words, I can condition my mind to perform every act necessary for my success. With these words, I can condition my mind to meet every challenge which the failure avoids. I will act now. I will repeat these words again and again and again. When I wake, I will say them, and I will leap from my cot while the failure sleeps yet another hour. I will act now. When I enter the market, I will say them and immediately confront my first prospect while the failure ponders yet his possibility of rebuff. I will act now. When I face a closed door, I will say then and knock while the failure waits outside with fear and trepidation. I will act now. When I face the temptation, I will say them and immediately act to remove myself from evil. I will act now. When I am tempted to quit and begin again tomorrow, I will say then and immediately act another sale. I will act now. Only action determines my value in the marketplace. And to multiply my value, I will multiply my actions. I will walk where the failure fears to walk. I will work when the failure seeks rest. I will talk when the failures remain silent. I will call on 10 who can buy my goods while the failures make grand plans to call just one. I will say it is done before the failure says it's too late. I will act now. For now is all I have. Tomorrow is the day reserved for labor of the lazy. I am not lazy. Tomorrow is the day when evil becomes good. I am not evil. Today is the day when the weak become strong, and I am not weak. Tomorrow is the day when failure will succeed. I am not a failure. I will act now. When the lion is hungry, he eats. When the eagle has thirst, he drinks. Lest they act, both will perish. I hunger for success. I will perish in a life of failure, misery, and sleepless nights. I will command and I will obey my own command. I will act now. Success will not wait. If I delay, she will become betrothed to another and lost to me forever. This is the time. This is the place. I am the person. I act now. Okay, can just like mic drop. Okay, that was it. That's pretty powerful, isn't it? And what I love about this is it's more old language, but our speaker at GTC, Mel Robbins, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take an action. This scroll that I read is in theory the same thing, but I love that it's just driving it home in another manner, but success is tied to your action, not your thoughts about it, if that makes sense. Has anybody read this book? It's deep.
I have not. I have to.
I've shared it with some of my team, but this particular book is the deeper rendition of Augmentino, and you have to read the scrolls 3 times a day, and you repeat one of them for 5 weeks in a row. So it's a very it really helps your mind grasp things. So this is what I wanted to just give you guys, is that fuel to just know it's just mathematical.
Yeah.
Okay, so if anyone has questions for Ginger, if any of Ginger's team has questions for me or vice versa, I am thrilled to open it up.
Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba.
Everyone on the East Coast is like, I'm going to bed.
I know, right?
So
Yeah.
I have a question for you girls, and there's documents out there for this, but this is a long month, right? But it seems like that doesn't really help. Sometimes like a short month like inspires you a little bit more. So February was really great. So we have 5 days left. What would be your top 3 priorities as regional vice presidents? What would you say concentrate on in the next 5 days? I mean, everything, of course, but seriously, what are your top 3?
Want me to throw in my 2 cents? And I'm totally on the spot here. Thanks, Diet.
I know, really.
Love ya. I'm glad you're in a different room at GT. No, I'm just joking. No. So I I think it depends, and this is one of those, it depends, but I think it depends on what your goal is.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're trying to finish a promotion, then you're going to be calling all of your preferred clients that have things that have expiring rewards, that you're going to be giving specials to those people who maybe are on the fence about doing the clean eating program to get the volume. But if you are helping somebody else promote, or you're not in promotion mode so much, then the main priority is to continue that momentum by reaching out to people and sponsoring. For me, it's sponsoring business partners and getting them going. I don't know if that helps, but I think it really depends on what your goal is. And then if somebody's watching this later, I don't know everybody on here, if you're new, I think it's so important to share what you would like to accomplish with the leader that's helping you, because they're not going to say, oh gosh, Diet, you didn't hit your goal. They're going to do everything that they can to help you achieve that. And no matter what, you're going to have progress from it. So does that help Diet a little bit? Not really.
No.
So Diet, you have to call your coach and tell her what your goals are.
She direct to you, Ginger?
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Yes.
I sponsored up with this one. I tell you, I'm so lucky.
That's funny. I'll give you my 2 cents. I would actually say the same thing as Ginger. It completely depends on where you are in your business and what your goal is for the month. So, people that are, don't have teammates right now, these last 5 days, I would not focus on doing the 30 and 30 or sponsoring. Unless you know someone who's ready to go, then you get them on right now and you help them hit, a brick. I would do what Ginger was just saying, and volume. Sponsoring preferred clients and volume would be my focus for the last 5 days, because most people are either trying to, get DM qual with their 2,500 or finish district or hit their consultant cash bonus or their, whatever it is. It all comes down to volume at the end of a month. So it is very much sharing the 30 Days to Healthy Living story, or the core presentation. Doing that much more than a Discover Arbonne would be my focus for the very last few days of a month. And however that is, just like she said, reach out to clients that have rewards. Our team knows this, but this is a good reminder. Reach out to the people that have been on the fence before about wanting to do the clean eating or to get the skincare. Reach out to people that have said no to hosting and say, look, if you get a couple friends together, I will give you whatever, XYZ products, whatever you have on your shelf. Give away. This is the time to give away the farm, to be able to get in front of 5 new people or 10 new people. And if you do have people on your team, work with those people in addition to your own stuff. We always have to do our own stuff. I think a lot of times we forget when we have teammates that, you want to help your team, but you still have to do your own brick. But helping the people that are new in your business this month to reach their brick and their goals. Go, Jen.
Hi, teacher. So one thing I want to say, and it doesn't help us right now because we're in the last week of the month, but I really feel so strongly that if we all treat every day as just a day, then the last days of the month are going to become easier. You're going to hit goals sooner because you're just working your business. And I really want to, if I can throw out what's happened in my team in the last year. I don't know, Heather, if that's appropriate to talk about, but in January of last year, we were all kind of sitting there where we were at. We were just kind of sitting there, right, Diet? everybody was kind of at their place, at their level. And I was just so sick of it. Honestly, it was like, not of my team, but of me. And just that I was kind of getting complacent. And so I made a change in my head. And I said, every day is going to be important. And it wasn't a pressure thing where it's like, oh, you have to work 20 hours a day. You know, it was just every day was important. And I gathered a few people with me. And I said, if you want to do this with me, we're going to be real with each other. And last year at this time, I had no area managers on my team. And now we have 7 and one more person probably going to be in qualification this month on my team, not all direct to me, but it was just one of those decisions to kind of get out of the blah where I was and to move. And so like I said, I feel like if we treat every day of the month as being the last day of the month or as equally as important, all of us are going to hit our goals earlier in the month because we're not so focused on the last week of the month and trying to cram in all that activity. It doesn't help right now because we're cramming it in the last 5 days. But I hope that helps you guys a little bit.
And Ginger, I have to say that today I thought about both of you, and I thought about that thought about not making every month so compartmentalized and looking at it at the big picture. And what I realize is that people that you're talking to, they don't necessarily know that the end of the month is a big deal. And so to put pressure on somebody that you've been dripping on for a while to finish up by the end of the month, maybe that's not the time that they want to do it. Maybe they're going on vacation April 7th and they want to do something later. And so I think what you're talking about, Ginger, is making your mindset like this is for the long haul and working that day by day by day. But my question wasn't to put you guys on the spot. It was, because we all feel that pressure kind of at the end of the month. And so like, where do we focus? So thank you so much for your input. I appreciate it.
That pressure's kind of fun too. Like, I mean, I think it's
for some of us.
It's exciting. I'm like, oh my God, look at everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So thanks, Diet.
Anybody else? You don't have to. We're just throwing it out there.
I can't see, so
Yeah,
I don't have blinds on them. I don't have blinds on the window.
By the light, for
I
sure.
am. It's the light of momentum. That's so corny. Have fun with your business. Be weird.
Because you earned your selfie light.
That's my selfie light. No. Awesome. Well, you guys, I hope to see every one of you in Vegas and in momentum and exciting and just like so ready to pop your business. It's like it's really a mindset. And so the next 5 days, I want to challenge you to do something maybe you haven't done before or haven't done in a while, and be the best consultant on your team, no matter what's going on in your team. No matter what, it's you, and don't bench your best player and get out there and make your goals happen.
Yay!
Okay, I think we're done.
Bye. Everybody.
Thank you guys. Hi, Amy. Hi, Jennifer.
Jenny in the hood.